So we had lore, a full, in case you didn't know, our writer, the guy who was in the pitch video, he's writing a novella, companion for the game. So he wrote some journals from the excerpts of the novella, and we made it public to show to the players what kind of lore and stuff we were aiming for. Like if you're an RPG fan, lore is a pretty big deal for you. So and we also did game design updates. What sort of design were we actually aiming for? Even with all the stuff that we explained in our Kickstarter page, we went a step further and analyzed what sort of design decisions we were making, that kind of thing. And we had an update per day. That was our plan initially. And in fact, I think we ended up in when the project ended, we had something like 35 updates in 30 days. Because at the end, it was a huge rush kind of thing. So we had lots of quick updates. I'll elaborate more on that. And we also had PayPal pledges. We introduced them as we hit the funding goal. So people who were not able to pledge to Kickstarter and PayPal pledges also keep on going once your Kickstarter ends. So that is also an added advantage. In case somebody misses your campaign for 12 hours or something. So then they can pledge using PayPal and still get the rewards and stuff like that. Then these were the stretch goals which we have. There are a lot of them, but what I'll try to do is I'll try to tell you how much of workload was increased for each member of the team. So the Pyrodactyl is 4 people. I'm the programmer and all the other stuff and there's one artist, there's one writer, and there's one scripter. So we try to balance all of the workload so that the stretch goals increased each of our load proportionately. The problem with stretch goals is that let's say you keep on promising, for example, further levels, for example. So what that does is, that increases the workload on the level design team. But everyone else is okay. Everyone else is like, yeah, level designer kar lega. That kind of thing. But the problem with that is that delays your project. Because then everyone else is sitting on their hands while the level designer is in crunch and he's blaming the rest of the team and then jhagde ho rahe hain, that kind of thing. So we tried to avoid that. So how we did that was we spaced our stretch goals so that there was one coding related stretch goal, then the other one was art related, then the other was story related, and then some of them were extra choices, so that was scripting. Most of it was scripting. So that way we tried to avoid disproportionately increasing the workload of just a single team member, because that is a perfect way to get your project delayed and So the next thing we did was we made a lot of public appearances. We did a lot of streaming shows. Have any of you seen any of them? Or we even appeared on German TV, I think. There was this show called the crowdfunding show. And so yeah, I don't know if any one of you watches German TV. So, and apart from that, we did ask AMA sessions on Facebook and Reddit. There was one on this NASCOM related forum, which was okay, I guess. So yeah, and so yeah, we did a lot of public appearances. We made sure that we just kept appearing in the in the news somehow, you know. And then what we did was, after a little bit of the in this new art style video which I'm about to show was made for the final week or final 10 days or so of Kickstarter. So this was at the point where our Kickstarter had exceeded all of our expectations, and we were at something 800% of our goal or something. So what we did was, immediately, I had spoken a little bit earlier about having the ability to create extra content on the fly. So we immediately made a set of levels with the new art style which we were going to get using our Kickstarter. So that enabled backers to directly see where their money was going. And quite a few people increased their pledges because of that. So I'm just going to play the video now. Hi backers, I just wanted to say thanks a lot for your support. With your help, Unrest is a much better game. Now let Restaurant do the talking and introduce the new art style to you. Thanks.
Hi everyone, I'm Ritzgar, the lead writer for Unrest. It's been a hell of a ride, and through your very generous funding efforts, not only did we far exceed our expectations, we've even upgraded our budget from shoestring to length of rope. Since it is the final days, let's talk a little bit about what you funded. First of all, you've expanded the scope of the game significantly. New quests, new NPCs, more places in the city to explore, even a new chapter. Every time we can afford one new thing for the game, one new asset, it lets us do about 10 different other things with that asset. And that, I think, is one of the coolest things that our Kickstarter's done for us. Although, secondly, as you can see, we're already scrapping and re-rigging the art style to be much more open and organic, supposed to tell the players a story about the world they're exploring. Now, this is by no means the final product you're looking at right now, but as a work in progress, it's pretty representative of what we're going for. Keep in mind that there's a few days left, and we're tantalizingly close to being able to expand the game even more with shaders and visual effects. But it's not all about eye candy. Our primary goal in the Kickstarter was to provide more game for your money, to realize more of our ideas, and we've done that in spades. As a lead writer, I've already flowcharted out all the new quests and sidelines and chapters, and believe me, I can't wait for you to play this game.
So in case, I'll just recap what the video was. So what I was telling you about, being concise with your, what you say to the backers, and also, we did not make any nebulous promises like, oh, the scope is expanded, oh, there are more choices, there are like 500% more choices. We didn't say anything like that. What we clearly stated in this video, as you just heard, was exactly what the Kickstarter added to the game. So we were like, okay, so we are able to flowchart additional quests. We are able to afford more assets. And this is the art style we are going for. It's not final, but this is pretty representative. So this is the kind of discourse you need to have with your backers. Like, if you're honest, then like they'll respond with more trust in you. Then like you might actually end up with some unexpected problems during your Kickstarter. So like this might be different. It probably will be different in case you launch your own project. But like what we encountered, I'll share something with you. So one common theme was other Kickstarter campaigns and like Indiegogo campaigns spamming our comments. So that like for a brief while, it pretty much stopped all the other constructive discussions we were having. And we had to like ask Kickstarter to remove all the spam for us. And turns out we actually lost like 5 or 6 backers because of that, because like turns out the spammers, like to gain the ability to post, they had made like $1 pledges to your campaign. So once they were banned, they just withdrew their pledges. So that thing might happen to you if your campaign takes off. So just be proactive in dealing with them. Don't be like, oh, yeah, chalta hai. Because once that happens, then like it will be a wasteland, like every unmoderated forum that you know of. Then the second thing was, there's this thing called cross promotion. Like, okay, look, so I'm a PC developer, so I don't know like the latest trends in mobile or whatever. But apparently, like this is a thing where like you, like somebody is like put a link in for my project in the bottom of your updates, and I'll do the same. So yeah, so we were pretty uncomfortable with this because like where we were at the Kickstarter, we were not a world famous developer. We were not like Brian Fargo asking to make Wasteland 2. Brian Fargo can afford to like promote other projects because people know, okay, this guy knows his stuff. We were unknown. So at that point, if we started using, like letting other people use our campaign as a platform to promote their campaigns, so then that undermines our credibility a lot. Because the other Kickstarter, I haven't played that because it's a Kickstarter. You can't actually see the final product. So what I would suggest is to like not do all of this stuff, especially because in the PC market, this sort of practice is frowned upon. You don't see like ads in PC games, and like there's no PC game that pops up and like, oh yeah, buy this game also, except like maybe the Angry Birds port, but you know what I mean. So, and apart from that, we had a couple of special things where people tried to stir up controversy. Like there was this former teammate guy who posted anonymously. I'm not sure where this guy came from, because like all of our team was like in the forum at that time. But like people will make weird allegations. They'll troll you. just to throw you off your track. So just be prepared for like whatever mudslinging that happens on the internet, you know, like maybe 4chan gets pissed at you or something. So just be prepared for all of that stuff. And then this was the end result. This is where the campaign stopped. We had like almost 2,000 backers in Kickstarter and another like 200, 300 via PayPal. PayPal is actually still going on. So like if you want to back or whatever. So now I'm going to analyze like what went right and what went wrong. So let's start with the bad stuff first. So yeah, our pitch video had very low production values. This was us on our webcams recording. Like there was no professional recording crew. We didn't have any makeup. I didn't even have electricity actually. Like this was the thing that I showed you. That was like the 30th take of my video, and I was very angry at that time because since take 5 or 6, the light had went off, and I was like, I was fumbling my lines. So what you saw was like me at like whatever. Let's just get this out of the way. And the second thing was the initial art style. That was a bit unrefined. And like again, this is a kind of thing which is a minus point, but at the same time, oftentimes you can't really do anything about it because like we did not have the budget to get a better looking art style. So luckily Kickstarter did that for us, but like even then, like if you are making a concept like an RPG or whatever, there are many players who will ignore the slightly below par graphics. Like I'll just be honest with you, pretty bad graphics. They'll ignore the pretty bad graphics. And actually, if the gameplay is deep, there are a lot of choices and what things people actually want to play the game for. Because even now, like the old Infinity Engine games, they are selling pretty well on GOG and stuff. So there's a demand for this kind of thing. And we also had we introduced physical rewards very late into the campaign. This was because I couldn't find a willing party to actually ship physical rewards to the to US and Europe. So yeah, that was a thing which I don't know if it could be helped, like because I don't have any sort of contacts who are willing to like handle the shipping for me in different countries. So I had to handle all of this myself. So what this meant was that like physical rewards ended up being pretty expensive, and they were introduced like halfway into the campaign. So this was a thing. I guess we could have done like more research into these before, but yeah. So if you want to have a Kickstarter campaign that where merch is a big part of your reward tiers, make sure you have all the details of shipping and like what the costs are beforehand. So there's no hitch in between. And apart from that, we weren't world famous, so we were limited in what we could, how much we could promote and what we could do with this. And international regulations are a pain. Yeah, you know, like I had to visit the US embassy, and they're like, you know, like there's this whole show of importance, so you have to like stand in a line for no reason, that kind of thing. So and like BSNL sucks. So what happened was that I was supposed to do a 12-hour developer stream, like continuous 12-hour developer stream, and in the middle BSNL ki line mein pani bhar gaya. That's what the guy told me, है ना? And to this date, that internet connection is not working. I had to get another internet connection. So yeah, sarkari kaam, that's how it is, you know. But yeah, like don't fret too much, because like ultimately like experience is the best teacher, because I'm just like anyway, like I had told you earlier about my words not being gospel. So yeah. Apart from that, let's start with the like optimistic stuff, you know. So the first thing that went right was our setting, which was very well received. People were like, this is a breath of fresh air. And our design elements were very well received. People were super excited. Our backers asked us to include an Iron Man mode, which we did during the Kickstarter. So that's where the ability to code during Kickstarter and create extra content comes in handy. Because we were able to demonstrate our Iron Man mode like from the suggestion during the Kickstarter campaign to actual implementation and execution within a week. And all this while the Kickstarter was running. So that was a positive thing. Our writer is pretty awesome, Rats Khan. Yeah, like, yeah, he worked extra hard to like write novella entries and to like tell the players, like in the videos, for example, he did, but like he had a lot of the cues and stuff, like, okay, this is the stuff we want to talk about, that kind of thing. He appears in a show called Spoiler Warning. Like, so he's pretty, like he's an expert at this kind of thing, like more than me at least. So, and like the final thing is that like, not the final, but in this slide, like there's this lot of stuff that a lot of people have told me that like, hey, can Firangis actually like play as Indians and like, relate to us? Like, shouldn't you make a game about like Homer Simpson or whatever the average guy is, like there's this conception of the average person being like middle-aged American, that kind of thing. So yeah, this conversation like I had with Oscar Wilde, like encapsulates a lot of the feedback that I had got. So this is a part where I actually refused to act on feedback. This was a person from, like it might be actually, yeah, you know who you are, but like I changed the name. So yeah, so this is the kind of general feedback I got from a lot of Indian developers. They were under the misconception that like, I don't know, like people somehow somehow don't want to play as Indian characters. Like, I mean, they can play as orcs, so like, there's no problem there. But, so just in case, like, if you are unsure that whether like a game set in India or with Indian themes, and like not, aimed at the average American gamer, can work. So this, I guess, is an example to the contrary. So what I'm trying to get here is, like, get to the point here is, have confidence in your vision. If you want to make something Indian, then just make it. Don't try to dilute your vision with like, oh yeah, so we'll have this stuff to compensate for the fact that there's not enough hamburgers in the game. Don't try to do that. Just have confidence in your vision. And like, if people reject it, the good thing about Kickstarter is if your Kickstarter fails, then nobody gets angry if you scrap your project and start another one. Because that's what Kickstarter is for. If there's no demand for the project, then you can say, okay, there was no demand. Nobody wanted to play my Indian game. So I just made another one, So yeah, have confidence in your vision. And like, listen to feedback, but like, don't listen to the inane kind of feedback. We got a lot of positive press from Rock, Paper, Shotgun, Kotaku, PC Gamer, IndieGames.com, 20-sided. Almost every PC gaming site on the internet covered us at one point or the other. Like Giant Bomb did a small like mention of us. So yeah, they were pretty much everyone covered us. Larian Studios, they make games like Divinity, Divine Divinity, Divinity Dragon Commander. They actually like they had their Kickstarter update, like they were funded already. So they did a very awesome write-up on us, and they were like, we are very impressed with the studio's vision and like what they are like, and they seem capable of delivering and that kind of thing. So it was very heartwarming to know that there were like developers whose games I was playing and like I was a fan of, and they had responded in like such a great way. Like I had not actually approached Larian, so they did this on their own. But yeah, so I was very happy once like the Larian stuff happened, and like Brian Fargo and George Zietz, they are like two of the like from Wasteland 2, Torment, like the whole RPG kind of thing. So they mentioned us on Twitter, they backed our project. So yeah, that was pretty like an amazing moment because I'm a big fan of their games. And we were also very popular on like forums, social media. They were, and it was hard to keep track, to be honest. Like I couldn't join every conversation, but I tried to like whenever I could. Even RPG Codex liked our project, like, which is a pretty big deal because like, I'm not sure if you are aware of RPG Codex. So yeah, so they have the habit of calling every game like the biggest disappointment of Dash. So luckily we escaped that, like until the 25th post, which was biggest disappointment of 2013. So yeah, and like our soundtrack, our concept art, our new art style, and like pretty much everything else was very well received. And I would like to like give a shout out to my artist Mick, who's incredibly awesome. Like the guy researched like Indian old Indian paintings. He did a lot of he researched a lot of landmarks. He did a lot of other stuff to like prepare himself to draw, because for a person who is not aware of the like Indian monuments and such, like just getting acquainted to the architecture is a mammoth task in itself. And this guy did it during Kickstarter, and he actually got a set of levels done and ready. So yeah, like, yeah, in fact, the entire team pretty much. I would like to like thank all of them at this point. And yeah, so this is just to give you the idea of the work that was involved. So this is a level, this is the same level from before the art update happened. So yeah, it looks kind of terrible actually. And then this is the same level after the art update happened. And this is actually like, there are still 2 art passes remaining. So this will end up looking even better than what it is. So like you can see the difference between this. And like see what, like just how, like just like what kind of work you might be end up doing if your Kickstarter takes off during the project. Now, like, so this was the post-mortem stuff. Now, like, what happens once the campaign ends? And like, you have to actually start like full throttle on the game. So this is what we do to keep our backers updated. We have regular monthly developer streams where we take questions, where we show what we did. And we have regular development updates. And we also share our schedule and financials with the backers. Because this was a thing we promised to them. And like a lot of them respond positively once you do. Because they know, like it feels good to know that there are actually humans behind this game. Instead of a like machine that's like beep boop and then a game comes out. So it's not like that. So like, if you are honest with your backers respond in the same way. Because it's important to learn that like your Kickstarter backer is a person who trusts you so much that he put his money where his mouth is. Or like his or her, you know. So they put their money where their mouth is, and they backed you even before you had a game to ship. Even before you had begun most of the work, actually. So it's like even a step further from pre-ordering a game. Like, so they are your patrons. So if you are honest with them, they will respond in kind. And they will be very understanding. And then, like, Kickstarter also influences our design. We had a lot of user interface improvements. Like the UI you saw in the updates, that's been overhauled like 100%. And there's a new UI which scales to resolution, and like a lot of font rendering issues are solved. So yeah, this was a thing which backers, like quite a few backers felt was important to them. So we worked on that. And then like specific feature requests like the Iron Man mode I talked about earlier. Then the whole controller support, we added